Welcome into MIAA Saturday. I'm Harry Loomis.
And I'm Calvin Silvers.
It's been a fantastic season so far for MIAA football. And with 4 weeks of regular season play left, the competition is tighter than ever.
Northwestern Washburn. For the second straight week, the Bearcats trail in the fourth quarter. 4 minutes left, the handoff to Alba Keller, and he breaks through like he has all year. The Bearcats go up 14-10, but can they keep the lead? The answer would be a no. Last minute of the game, Kellen Simonik checks to Talon Peters, and he makes everyone around him miss and scores the biggest touchdown of his life. The Washburn Ichabods knock off the Bearcats for the first time since 2005.
Switching over to Central Missouri at Missouri Southern, this game was a back-and-forth battle. Mules quarterback Logan Tweehouse had himself a day with 4 touchdowns. Here, Tweehouse quickly gets the ball out of his hands, and Arkell Smith does a high step to put his team ahead in the fourth. But the Lions would get the better end of the deal. Nick Williams lines up for the 27-yard field goal, and it sails through the uprights to give the Lions a 30-28 win.
Fort Hays hosting Central Oklahoma. Late first half, Chance Fuller with plenty of time, and he fires a strike to Hunter Butkey to go to halftime with a 14-10 lead. The Broncos answered in the third. Keats Calhoun rolls right and throws across his body to Dante McGee. He trots in to take the lead. The Broncos would add another score in the fourth quarter to win it 24-14.
Let's now take a peek into Nebraska Kearney at Emporia State. The Hornets were feeling good, scoring the first 14 points of the contest. To counter a UNK touchdown, Calvin Boyce puts his shoulder down and shows why the weight room is important, putting the Hornets up by 2 touchdowns. But don't count out the Lopers' high-powered offense. Dayton Seeley sneaks past the defensive line, catches the ball from TJ Davis, and throws aside a Hornets defender as he later gets thrown into the end zone for a touchdown. The Lopers would hold on to win 42-35.
Homecoming for the Griffins hosting Northeastern State. Third quarter, Jacob Frazier with the ball to Isaiah Davis. The defender goes for the pick, and Davis makes him pay, going 55 yards and powering his way in to make it 33-17. Same quarter, Frazier's pass gets tipped and intercepted by Terrence March. His second pick of the day, and he takes it 70 yards to the house. The Griffins defense forces 7 turnovers in this one to win big, 57-24.
We end last week's games with Lakin at Pittsburgh State. Pittsburgh State quarterback Max Sexton heaves a ball to Elijah Harris, who outruns 3 Blue Tiger defenders and helps extend the Gorillas' lead. The Blue Tigers' lone touchdown came in the second quarter, as Josie Franklin runs through a huge hole on the right side. However, the Blue Tigers needed more touchdowns as they fall 59-7. There were some awesome performances around the MIAA in Week 7, but only 3 could be chosen as the Mammoth Turf Players of the Week. We begin with the Offensive Player of the Week, TJ Davis. This is TJ Davis' second consecutive week and the 4th time total this season he has received the honor. Davis had a 4th straight week with 4 touchdowns, this time having 3 passing and 1 rushing. He threw for a career-high 307 yards in the win. The Mammoth Turf Defensive Player of the Week goes to Washburn defensive end Malik Fall. Fall finished with a career-high 8 tackles, 6 of those being solo, including 3 sacks and a quarterback hurry. The outstanding performance helped Washburn snap a 15-game losing streak to the Bearcats. The Mammoth Turf Special Teams Player of the Week is Missouri Western kicker Thomas Kopcha. Kopcha is now tied for an NCAA Division II best with 5 field goals made in a single game. Kopcha also set a new MIAA record for points scored by a kicker with 21. The sophomore also equaled the Griffins record for most field goals.
The standings have really tightened up, and it starts at the top. We have a new number 1. It's Nebraska Kearney holding the top spot, but the Bearcats, they're still there at 5-1. Pitt State and Washburn are both 5-2. Central Oklahoma sits 5th at 4-3. Emporia State, Fort Hays, Missouri Southern, and Missouri Western are 3-4, while Northeastern, Central Missouri, and Lincoln round things out.
I'm very excited to watch Fort Hays and Central Missouri face off. It's homecoming for the Mules, and they're getting a good game. These teams are dead even in their last 6 matchups.
This is a great matchup for the Tigers, especially on offense. The Adrian Soto-led rushing attack and well-balanced passing game has the Tigers sitting 2nd in the conference in yards per game, while the Mules have allowed the 2nd most yards per. A big factor is going to be 3rd down conversions. Fort Hays converts at a 50% rate, whereas the Mules have only stopped 51%. If the Tigers can extend drives like they've been able to, they'll be in good shape. For the Mules, they need to ride the arm of Logan Tweehouse. He's been the 4th most efficient quarterback in the MIAA so far. He's avoided turnovers while averaging over 275 yards a game. If he and Cameron Saunders can continue the season they've had together, the Mules should have no trouble putting points on the board.
My eyes are focusing on the matchup between Missouri Southern and Emporia State.
The key for the Hornets this week is playing all 4 quarters. Emporia State has lost 4 games this season by a touchdown or less. Emporia State could be having a very different season if they could find themselves on the other end of the scoreboard. The Hornets' offense is high-powered enough to keep them in games, but can the defense step up to the plate? For the Lions, keep giving the rock to the backfield. The Lions have a deep running back core, and Nathan Glades has been the leading workhorse. If the Lions want to make it 3 straight wins, it starts in the rushing department.
Let's look at next week's slate of games. Central Missouri is at Pitt State. Fort Hays hosts Emporia State. Northeastern's at Lincoln. The Bearcats host the Lopers. Central Missouri is in Jefferson City. And the Lions host Missouri Western.
For this week's show, we wanted to take a step back and recognize 2 athletes that will be competing in the MIAA Cross Country Championship. I had the honor to sit down and talk to Missouri Southern sophomore Ryan Riddle.
All right, I am here with Missouri Southern sophomore Ryan Riddle. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine myself. You know, this is very interesting for me and very exciting because usually I'm stuck on the football side of things and interviewing players and coaches, but this week we didn't talk some cross country, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and speaking of cross country, the MIAA championships are this weekend, but before we kind of look into that or preview that a little bit, just talk about how the year has been going for you personally. I don't know if you've set any new records or goals that you haven't been able to achieve beforehand, or if you're just seeing improvement. Just how's the season going for you so far?
Yeah, so for improvement for me, unfortunately, we didn't get a cross season last year because of COVID. So this has been kind of like a training period. And then coming into this year, I had a lot of goals just for myself and team-wise. But I've PR'd by almost a full minute. 2 years ago, I ran 24:42, and so far I'm down to 23:47. This year's just been it's been my best cross-country season I've ever had. We've went to 3 races, and I've won all 3 so far by a decent margin. So it's been going pretty well for me individually, and I'd like to keep it up going into the championship season.
No, that's awesome. And congratulations on that for you and just that improvement. And like only a sophomore as well. So there's a lot of room just to keep improving there. And it's great to focus on your achievements as well. But, you know, you guys are a team and there's a lot of great runners on your team as well. So personally, or I guess for the team, how is the season going?
Yeah, so that's why I really like cross country, just because of the team atmosphere. That's always been huge ever since junior high. When cross country comes around, it's big team atmosphere. You get everybody together, and it's just really hype. But yeah, for our team right now, we're working really hard. It hasn't shown so much yet throughout our preseason in this area, but we've still been up in the top teams, and I know that because of our hard work, we'll really do better in our championship season, and that's when we're going to be starting to peak anyway. So it's going to be really fun to see how the team does later on. Yeah,
and like I said, it's a great team atmosphere, it sounds like, and a lot of great runners there. And then this week's MIAA championships, they come a week or very close to that after your last meet. So what have you guys been doing to prepare for this weekend's race?
Yeah, so it's about 2 weeks after every race. That's when we go again. But really, we haven't done too much different stuff from our last one. We're just kind of going through the motions again. Just keep working hard last week, and then we'll work hard this week too. But it's just about mental aspect at this point, getting the right mindset, because we already know who we're up against. We've seen them a lot, basically everybody throughout the season. We know what we need to do and execute, and then we'll see how it goes at the championship.
Awesome. And then, like I said, MIAA championships in Kearney, Nebraska. Talk about that course a little bit, because I've been hearing some rumors. Obviously, I don't run that much. I don't know if it shows, but they said the course is very hilly from what I've heard, just the rumors around. Can you kind of talk about maybe the course that you guys will be competing on, and if the hills or whatever play a factor in that?
Yeah, so that's what I've been hearing too. I've never been to the Nebraska course, but from what I heard, it's a pretty hilly one, and that's what we've been working on all year. A lot of hills, a lot of grass workouts to just prepare our legs to be strong enough to go up. If it's not that hilly, as they say, you're definitely going to need it to be ready when it comes around. But it's going to be hard to tell until we actually get onto the course, see where all the spots are. But right now, all we have is course map to look at, kind of know a little bit from it, but we'll know a lot more once we get to the course, can run in, see where we need to make our moves.
And that might be kind of exciting too. You like to plan ahead. You like to know what you're getting into, but that excitement of how hilly is it actually, or, just you've never been competing on it, that leaves some room for excitement. So that is exciting. And as you mentioned, COVID and whatnot kind of limited how much you guys ran. And it's been since 2019, since there has been an MIAA Cross Country Championship. What does it mean for you and your team to have a chance to compete again and a chance to win a championship?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it just because of how long the time's been. We didn't get to do. We were maybe going to do a race last year, but we just didn't get to. So I think everybody's really looking forward to that, especially since we won conference 2 years ago, and that's what we're trying to defend our title and keep the winning tradition to MOSA. So I think we have that on our back, especially with like these tough teams coming up. So we know what we need to do, and we'll get the job done.
I'm sure you guys will. And we talked about this earlier. You guys are a team. You guys come together, and you have cut down your times by quite a bit. And I know the main goal is just to win the championship this weekend. But is there anything personally that you are looking to accomplish or to set going into the MIAA Cross Country Championships?
Yeah, for me personally, the best way to help out the team is to get the lowest amount of points. So I'm definitely trying to try to get the win for the team. And I know my fellow teammate JP Relich, he's going to be right behind me. He's very good. So I think we'll work. It'll be nice to have him to work together along with some of our other guys, try to get as many low sticks as we can.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join me today, Ryan, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough to get to talk with Northwest Missouri State junior Caroline Cunningham.
We're here with Northwest Missouri cross country runner Caroline Cunningham ahead of the MIAA Championships in Nebraska Kearney this weekend. So Caroline, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first question, just kind of talk about how this year's been for you and how you and your team have both kind of grown individually.
Yeah, this has been a really fun season. It's really great to be back, especially after everything with last year and not really having a season. I've had some big jumps, big PRs, so that's been super fun. And as far as the team, we're really young and we've consistently been running well. We've had a lot of girls make that jump from their freshman to their sophomore year. So a lot of them are seeing big improvements, big jumps, and we're excited to go take on the MIAAs this week.
There you go. So this is the MIAA Championship, as we said. It comes after an off week from your last meet. What have you been doing differently to prepare for this race compared to others?
So we've kind of started our taper, which is fun. We've done a little bit less mileage, cutting down on that, doing a little bit faster speed work to get ready to run fast and feel good doing it. With how our season's been going, we've been running really well, so we didn't want to change too much leading up into the MIAAs because what we've been doing has been working for us. So
it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
There you go. So we haven't had a cross country championship meet since all the way back in 2019. So what does it mean for you and your team to finally have a chance to compete for that once again?
Yeah, it's really exciting to be back. I think all sports fans felt it last year with not having those championship games or meets or possibly any meets or games at all. So it's really fun to be back into those high competitions, and it's really exciting with the MIAAs coming up. We're obviously a very strong conference, so it's exciting to get all of the runners together, all of the teams together, and go compete hard and see what happens.
There you go. Well, it's been great to finally get to have sports coming back again. So it's great to get to talk to some athletes in different sports. So it's been great to hear what you guys are preparing for this weekend's cross country championship. So best of luck to you guys in Kearney.
Thank you.
And now it's time for this week's sponsor spotlight. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Brian Morris of Mammoth Sports Construction.
So for our MIAA sponsor spotlight, we are with Brian Morris with Mammoth Sports Construction. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So first question, just can you talk about the benefits of the partnership with Mammoth Sports Construction and the MIAA?
Sure. Yeah, this has been one of the best partnerships that we have. Commissioner Racy, all the administrators from the ADs to the presidents, football coaches, baseball coaches, the student athletes throughout the conference are all top notch. And it's been a great relationship with Mammoth Sports Construction and the MIAA. We really have a passion to serve and impact communities, impact schools. and really aligns well with what the MIAA is doing and really becoming one of the premier Division II conferences in the country. That has been a great relationship for us and really allows us to come alongside each of those institutions, help to give them resources and information as they're building projects or putting down fields, or even if they just have questions for long-term planning. It's been fun to be a part of.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what sets Mammoth Sports Construction apart from other companies that might also install playing surfaces?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, we're a full service firm. So we do everything from the architecture side all the way through completion. We have our own crews. We don't sub any of that out. It allows us to really focus on details, really make sure that the product at the end of the day is first class. And we pride ourselves on being excellent at what we do, very much like the MIAA universities and college and schools that we serve. Excellence is in our nature. And so we really strive to be the best in the industry. I think our reputation has shown that we have become that. And it really helps when you have you can partner with a school like Pittsburgh State and put down a state-of-the-art football field for other people to come in and see. Really showcases what makes Mammoth different and better than the rest.
The jungle, that's a good one. So what are there maybe some trends or maybe growth opportunities that you would like to see in the college sports marketplace?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we have seen right now is the transition to facility improvements with baseball, softball, soccer. I think schools have really seen the benefits of artificial turf, especially in not missing games, not missing practices, and giving the student athletes the opportunity to compete at home. A lot of times we're hearing of schools going a month, sometimes 2 months on the road to start, having to go play at a local high school because they're getting rained out. So that's been a big, kind of a big surge really, and a big growth market for our company is baseball, softball, soccer. And then also the addition of lacrosse at a lot of our NAIA D2 schools are looking for ways to boost enrollment, ways to increase female participation. And so we're really seeing that as a growth sector too. So I think facilities wise, if that answers your question, that's really what we're seeing as really a lot of growth that's taking place across the country and that we are seeing directly as a result of Mammoth and projects that we're doing across the country.
Well, that's great. I know from my experiences playing baseball on those dirt fields, you get any rain whatsoever on that day you're not playing. So it's always nice to get to find a turf field like that to be able to get your game in, rain or shine. So thank you for joining us today. Is there any way for fans of the show to be able to find more information on Mammoth Sports Construction, maybe on social media?
Yeah, you can follow us at Mammoth Built pretty much across the board on our social media channels, definitely Twitter. Our website is mammothbuilt.com. I can be reached directly at brian@mammothbuilt.com. That's BRIAN at MAMMOTHBUILT.com. And a lot of people follow us on social media. We hear that all the time. A lot of people come up to us and said, man, we see the different projects you guys are doing across the country on Twitter and Instagram. So we'd love to see you guys follow us there. And obviously, if there's anything we can do for any of your organizations or companies or schools, don't hesitate to hit us up.
Well, that's great. It's a pretty good resource to have. So, Brian, once again, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
That will do it for MIAA Saturday. We look forward to seeing you again here next week.
Be sure to follow us across all our social media platforms and catch all of the MIAA action on the MIAA network. I'm Calvin Silvers.
And I'm Harry Loomis. We'll see you next week.